Hello again everybody. So some of you may know I have moved to the Czech Republic and I have imported my motorcycle. Now obviously as a British motorcycle in the Czech Republic I'm allowed to ride around for about 3 months legally without having to do anything, but after that point I need to have it registered and have a new license plate and everything in order to continue to ride it beyond that point, which obviously I will be. So as part of the process, I need to get what's known as a technical inspection, which is basically the equivalent of the UK MOT. But in order to pass that, I need to make sure my bike complies with the standards for the Czech Republic, which is the European standards. Now, nearly everything my bike does, obviously, all my lights are the original, so they're E-marked and everything else. I've not done any modifications to the engine or anything. I've only got the exhaust system, which again is homologated and E-marked. So the only thing that doesn't comply is my headlight. Now, some motorcycle headlights are not actually dipped, they're just flat. Others can be adjusted or changed from left-hand drive to right-hand drive, or to change the way the light dips. Now mine can't, obviously being a relatively inexpensive motorcycle. I just have a very basic headlight and it obviously dips to the left because it's a UK standard headlight and I need one that dips to the right. Now I had several options when it came to replacing this. I could have obviously gone to Suzuki and got a new standard headlight, but that would have cost an absolute fortune for what it was anyway. I mean, this is just cheap plastic and they would have wanted quite a bit of money. So obviously the next option is to go for an aftermarket light, which is exactly what I've done. So that's what we're going to be installing today. Now I've gone for something very similar styling but slightly different. I've gone full chrome, and let's see if I can get this out of the box one-handed. Nope. Fail. Right, so this is what I've gone for. Very nice, very simple, very classic. Still in line with the styling of the bike, but obviously just full chrome. And then obviously, whereas the original one is bottom mount, this one is side mount, so we've got some new mounts just here as well. So there we go. Right, that's what we're going to be doing today. Let me just move that. So the first thing we're going to have to do obviously is take the old light off. Now in my case it's quite simple. It's just a 10mm spanner undoing these two bolts down here, and then this will come off, and then we're actually going to be cutting the wires for this original headlight because we're going to wire in the new solder in the new light. And I think there was something else as well I had, because I was originally going to take the light apart and use the normal H4 fitting out of this, but I've just decided, because I've already cut this once before, I'm just going to cut it again and solder it on, because that will be a bit easier. And also there's a few extra wires on the new light, so we've actually got a indicator for the high beam on the light itself as well, so there's a few differences there. So we'll just simple cut and solder and all will be good. Right, let's crack on. So which way around's that? There we go. So yeah, this is just, as I say, it's a 10mm spanner or 10mm socket. We'll do this. Obviously I've got a ratchet spanner, so that makes life a little bit easier. Right, I'm also going to grab this. Okay. Oh, blimey. Put that one on tight. Or is it because I've got Loctite on it? Hang on a minute. Nope, we're good. Some of you may notice that the wiring back here is a little bit of a mess with the tape and stuff. I do intend to sort that out at some point. It's basically where I wired in the gauge and have done some other bits and bobs to the electrical system, and at the time I just didn't have the time to make a neat job of it. It's all like soldered properly and it's not going anywhere, but it's just not very pretty, so I will at some point have a good tidy up of all that. Right, now let's have this up, and then all of this stuff that's stuffed in the back I'm just going to pull out for the minute. Okay, I'm actually going to undo the light itself as well. Right. So what I actually want is somewhere in here. There we go. Right, I'm just going to pop you guys down a second. Okay, there we go. So I've just popped this light apart so we can get to all these connectors and undo those. Take that off of there. So that's that. And then this lot can just be fed through that hole. Hang on. Okay, so we've got the original light off. You can see this is the bulb connector for the main headlight bulb. This is the connector for the side light or positioning light, whatever you want to call it. And then these things here are the indicators and a few other bits that are normally connected inside the headlight. Now the original headlight had a sort of cavity in the back of it where this lot went into, whereas the new one doesn't. So again, as I said earlier, I'm intending to tidy this lot up at some point anyway, and obviously in the process of doing that I'll tidy these things up. But for now we'll just get it on and get it working just so that it's legal and I can ride around, and yeah, we'll go from there. So now we've got that off, before we do anything else with the wiring, we will put the mounting system on for the new light, which I have over here. So it's, as I say, it's a side mounted instead of bottom mount light, so we've got this mounting kit here. So we'll start with the rubbers, just put those on there, roughly where they're going to go. Okie dokie. Let's put that round that way. Yeah, that's good. Okay. And then we've got these metal sleeves, which will go over like that, down like that. Perfect. Okay. Right, yep, there we go. And then we have these, which interestingly are a 11mm for some reason. Bit strange, but there we go. And we need one of those. So alright, what side's that? That's going to be the right side, so the left side. That'll do, I think. Ooh, questioning myself now. Do you know what? I actually want this one. Okay. So this quite simply just sits in here, and then these bolts go through. I'm going to have to put you guys down to do this because it's a bit fiddly with one hand, so just bear with me a minute. Okay, so I've got the mounting system on. It was a bit of a pain in the arse actually, because these clamps were quite difficult to squeeze together to get the bolts through, so I had to use a clamp on that in order to keep it closed enough to get the bolt through and the nut on and everything, but I managed it in the end. I've also, as you can see, I've fitted the light. It's just these two screws on the side here, so the light's mounted and ready to go. All I've got to do now is wire it in. So that's the finished sort of mounting system. You can see the only slight thing is the bolt on this side. I do have it over here. I need to get a new nut for it because unfortunately it did sort of eject off and fly under that wardrobe, which is a bit of a pain in the arse. So I'll go a bit later on and get a new bolt for that, but for now I'll get it all wired in and working, and then I'll worry about that this afternoon. So what we need to do is grab wire cutters. That's the clamp I used. Big old thing. Stick that back over there. Okay. So what we need, so these are the wires coming off the lamp, or the light, and this is the original H4 connector, and it's got 3 wires coming off of it. We've got the black and white one here, which is the ground, and then we've got the yellow and then the white, which are one of them's going to be low beam, the other one's going to be high beam. So hang on a minute. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see this. We've got the 3 wires that came off the original, that come off the bike's lighting system that go to the light, and then coming off the new light we've got 5 wires. We've got a black one, a blue one, a white one, a green one, and a brown one. Now the black one's going to be earth, and then 2 of these, and I'm gonna assume that it's the white and the blue, are going to be low beam and high beam, and then one of these wires is going to be the side light, and the other one is going to be the light on the top here, which indicates whether you've got the high beam on or not. I'm not going to wire that one up because I've got that indicator on my gauge anyway, so I don't need it. I might wire it up at a later date, but for now I'm not going to bother, so I'm just going to wire up the 4 or 3 actually, no, 4 main wires. So what I like to do, because I don't know exactly which one's which, I'm pretty sure that the black is the earth, so I'm going to just connect this loosely to the earth for now, and then I'm going to do the same thing with what I think are the high beam and low beam, and then just test it out. So if you give me a second. Okay, so I've connected the black to the black and white, the blue to the yellow, and the white to the white. So let's turn the bike on and see what happens. Okay, absolutely nothing at the minute. Let's just what? Okay. Okay guys, so it was a bit fiddly in the end because obviously in an ideal world you'd use a multimeter to work out what wires what, but unfortunately mine is broken. I don't know what happened, but it started just displaying a load of weird characters that basically looked a bit like Sanskrit, and then just stopped working. So I had to do a sort of trial and error. I worked out that obviously white goes to white, well that one was fairly easy, but then blue goes to yellow, and green, interestingly, is the earth on this particular light. And then for the side light, brown goes to brown and black goes to black, which actually makes sense. Now obviously you'll notice that I haven't got any heat shrink on this at the minute. I don't have any at the minute. I will get some and I'll redo this with the heat shrink and do it properly, but for now I'm just going to tape it up with some electrical tape just to keep me going for the next couple of days until I can actually get down the shop and get the bits I need. But as I say, this is just to get the light on here to make it legal, because you know this is my only vehicle for the moment, so yeah, it needs to be done. So the last thing I'll show you guys, I've got the main light wired up. I just need to do the side light, but I'll show you guys how I actually solder wires together. So let me just show you this working. So we've got, obviously that's the low beam, and then if I switch it up, high beam, yeah, high beam, low beam, and as you can see also it's dipped, so it goes off to the right and it dips down to the left, so people coming the opposite way, obviously driving on the right hand side of the road, aren't being blinded, and that is perfect. It's exactly what we want. So basically what I do, I'm going to have to be here, is I make the ends of the cables relatively long and then bend them up at a 90-degree angle. So bend one up and then I'll bend the other one down about halfway along like that. So then what I do is get these together and then twist them around each other, so I'll just show you that now. So you end up with the wires twisted together like this, and then obviously you solder this together and it creates a nice strong connection that shouldn't come apart. And that's basically all there is to it. I mean, some of them, this one's actually a really nice neat one, some of these aren't particularly neat, but as I've already mentioned, I'm going to be undoing these and putting some heat shrink around them and doing it again properly at a later point in the next couple of days or so anyway, so I'm not too fussed about them not being the prettiest things in the world this time round. But there you go, guys, that's pretty much it. As I say, I'll probably, when I get around to doing these bits properly, I'll also get around to tidying up all this mess, because for the minute I'm just going to wrap it up in electrical tape and sort of stow it out the way, but I will get some proper wrapping and do it all so it looks nice. But let me just show you the end result. So it's a little bit different looking to the original light, obviously, but you know, an original light for this would have been at least 3-4 times more expensive than just putting this on, and I don't think it looks too bad, but it certainly does the trick. It's got all the E marks that I need, and more importantly, it dips to the right side, the correct side, so I can't complain too much there. So there you go, guys. I'm going to leave it here. Obviously, if you haven't already, please do subscribe to the channel. Go check out my other videos. There's loads more. I've done a lot more interesting things. I've done a heated seat modification. I've done bash guard, exhausts, various other things to this bike, and there's loads of reviews and things like that that you can go check out. So go look at those. And for now, guys, I'll catch you again soon.